I'd like to call the meeting to order. Maggie, roll call.
Mayor Moriarty,
Here.
Assistant Mayor Johnston,
Here.
Councilman Sudan,
Here.
Councilor Reese,
Present.
Councilor Ciotti,
Here.
Councilor Shaw,
Here.
Councilor Fitzpatrick,
Here.
Councilor Collins,
Here. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of January 18th, 2023?
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Wait. Shoot.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. So recognitions and volunteer committee reports. We're recognizing Portsmouth High School and the teachers who are involved with Student Government Day, so Mrs. Wheeler and Mrs. Wheeler. Would any counselors like to speak to that? Counselor Collins?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it short. Just appreciate the opportunity to come out here today. It's been super fun. Learned a lot, so I appreciate it. Thank you.
Counselor Saddam?
Yeah, so I just kind of want to back up with what Riley was saying and just say thank you for allowing us to come here and bring us this opportunity to our class. I think it's really important to have this opportunity and be able to be informed about your government, so you're aware, and yeah.
Clerk, would you like to say something?
Yes, I would just like to say that without you two, we wouldn't be here, and I think this is a great opportunity for us to get to understand our government, and it's an awesome opportunity. So thank you.
All right. Now I will open public comment for whoever would like to speak. Do I go? First up is Miles Bourne.
Hello all, I'm here to talk about pickleball. You may know pickleball, we teach it in PE, Intro to PE. In the high school, we have pickleball courts in high school. It's quite a sport, but there isn't a lot of attention. For example, tennis, a sport that's very similar to pickleball, has a lot of attention. There's a sports teams, there's tennis clubs, but yet you have pickleball. Not a lot of attention. Nobody really knows what pickleball is. We have pickleball courts, we teach pickleball. People play pickleball. I play pickleball. But we don't have a widespread attention. So what I'm here today is I'm advertising and asking the counselors to give $5,000 so that people can organize a pickleball tournament. Because what we need in Portsmouth is we need more people to be active. Because exercise helps so much. What we need is a pickleball tournament to encourage youth and advocates and everybody in Portsmouth to come out and play pickleball. So, with the $5,000 that I am requesting, we would be able to have youth advocates organize a tournament that would include food, water, and days of fun. So, I'm asking, please give $5,000 to make pickleball a widespread sport in Portsmouth. And thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Rich Bella.
Thank you, Your Honor, and fellow city councilors, city manager, city clerk, city attorney. Rich Blaylock, 922 Greenland Road. I'd just like to thank all you students. Without you guys, the Student Government Day wouldn't be happening. So really, it takes all of you guys to volunteer, step up, raise your hand, show up, and stand up there today. So I'm proud of you guys, and have fun today, and I know you're going to be great city leaders in the future. So I want to thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next is Kate Cook. Budget.
Honorable Mayor, City Councilors, I'm Kate Cook. I live at 17 Hunking Street in Portsmouth. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak today. I'm here to talk about the upcoming budget discussions and some concerns I have around our tax rate in Portsmouth and keeping that at a fair rate to protect our residents, especially those that live on a fixed income. In my neighborhood, I have numerous neighbors who are retired at this stage of life, and they're really concerned about the tax rate and the tax rate going up. And I'm looking through your agenda for today, and there are a lot of items on this agenda that have potential budgetary implications. Things like potential parking, additional parking at the high school, working on safe bike routes that also will cost money for the city. A bike share program would cost money for the city, and there's also the bigger issue of an indoor sports complex, which I understand there'll be a hearing on later. I just want to remind the council that it's really important to be mindful of the residents of the city and their constraints, their budget constraints, and when you're making these decisions, you need to think first and foremost about whether or not the benefit outweighs the cost. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next is John Quipublic for Portsmouth History.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, Assistant Mayor, City Council members, City Manager, City Attorney, City Clerk. My name is Joan Q. Public. I live at 30 Kate Street in Portsmouth. I moved here almost 4 years ago, and I just want to say that I appreciate what you're doing. And I also want to point out, in getting to know this city, I've learned a lot about its history in this short time. And I want you to know who created Student Government Day. I know there were lots of people involved, but someone who was instrumental in kicking it off and making it run for, I think, 37 years when she was an English teacher was Mary Carey Foley. She could not be here today. She's working. She retired as a teacher, but she works at Wentworth by the Sea, and she'd love to see you guys in action. I've already taken a couple of pictures of you, and she would want you to know that both her mom, Eileen Dondero Foley, and her grandmother, Mary Carey Dondero, also served as mayor. And Mayor Dondero, I think, was among the first female mayors in the entire country. So appreciate where you're sitting, appreciate all the history that's come before you, and appreciate that you get to be a part of making history. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Declan McEachran for Portsmouth Public Services.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor, Assistant Mayor, members of the City Council. Declan McEachran here, 230 Thornton Street. And I just wanted to thank you all for stepping up to be leaders today. Public service is about service. It's about serving other people. And you guys, as soon as you walk through this door here, exemplified just the best about this. I am incredibly proud to have gotten to know each and every one of you. I was impressed with all of your questions, and I hope that this is one of the most watched city council meetings of all time, because the viewers at home will learn what we learned today, in that the future of Portsmouth is in really good hands. The care which you have made suggestions and what you're thinking about is not projects that would just affect yourselves, but how you're going to affect the future, and all of the decisions that are before you are ones that I know you will think out, and I look forward to those discussions. And I would just leave with, as you begin your meeting, that we are the city of the open door. That's a motto that we've had for 100 years. But doors don't stay open by themselves. It takes people to knock on those doors, open those doors, and like you are today, keeping those doors open for the next generation to come through. So I wish you all the best. You're already off to a better start than we were on Monday night. So I look forward to watching what you do here today, and then for the rest of your careers as it goes on. So thank you again.
Thank you. Next, I would like to open the public hearing for an indoor sports complex that will cost about $50 million. That will include an indoor track, indoor basketball courts, maybe an indoor pool, and possibly some trampolines. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution?
I move.
Second.
Discussion. Councilor Collins.
Yes, so I took a couple notes on the matter, and I think one of the most important issues that we have is that our Portsmouth hockey team doesn't have a rink. They have to play all the way in Dover, and their practices are just about 20 minutes away. So I think a hockey rink in this indoor sports complex is necessary.
Would anyone else like to speak on that?
Sure, I will. I think an indoor sports complex is a good idea because it benefits all different types of athletes, and especially if we have an indoor track, it allows for the track team, but also just anyone in general who wants to work out to be able to go somewhere indoors and not have to run on the streets when there's snow everywhere. So I think it's a good idea.
Thank you. Others? Councilor Reese?
Thank you, Your Honor. I think it's a very good idea, but judging the cost of $50 million, it does not make sense to the taxpayers to take out of an average of $140 million, take away a little more than a third of it. Doesn't make sense, and we'd have to chip off at a lot more than what you'd think to get that money.
I'll open the public hearing.
Hello again, Mayor, Assistant Mayor, members of the City Council, City Clerk, City Attorney, City Manager. Rich Playlock, 922 Greenland Road. I want to thank you all for bringing up this matter. I know growing up as an athlete in Portsmouth, there's not many places to train in the winter. I know our lease up at Spinnaker Point is going to run out eventually, but I know the hockey team also needs a home. And I think an indoor track would be wonderful for our aging populations as well as the younger populations in the track team. But I would hope you all support this. I understand the cost it would take to the taxpayer, and that's a significant chunk of change, but hopefully we could bond some of this money out and not put it all in one budget. But yeah, thank you all.
Andrew Bagley, 40 Chauncey Street. I just want to thank this council for including a trampoline park. You're probably not aware, but Blitz Trampoline Park closed recently, which was particularly popular with youth in the city. So I just want to applaud you guys for including that in your discussion.
Miles Warren, 431 Wallace Road. So if we're going to spend $50 million on the sports court, we should at least only spend it once, and we should do it right. So if we do it right, that means we should have a clear list of everything that we need to be in the sports court, because we don't want to say, I forgot this, and then people to be annoyed because you don't want to waste a bunch of money if you just wasted a bunch of money to build a sports court. So what we need is we need to include a pickleball court, because pickleball courts are necessary for the health of Portsmouth. And we need to encourage every single citizen that is able and interested in sports to be able to play pickleball. So when you're considering this, I strongly urge a pickleball court for Portsmouth and to represent some of the people that may not be able to play all the sports, such as older people, and pickleball is the right sport for them. So I strongly urge, when you build this court, to put a pickleball court in, because it is necessary for the people of Portsmouth. Thank you.
Sora Bouvier, 74 Ridgecrest Drive, Greenland, New Hampshire. I just want to thank you, Your Honor. I do agree with Miles. As a retired pickleball player myself, I understand the importance of the availability of courts. And in the wintertime, you know, it's a bit chilly. And when I'm all bundled up and playing pickleball, I get quite sweaty. So the indoor option is just great. And Miles, thank you for bringing that up and bringing it to mind. So I'd just like you all to keep that in your minds when you're thinking about this indoor sports facility.
Thank you, Heather Wheeler, 50 Jarvis Drive. I was just thinking as we were talking about the addition of the pickleball court, which I think is a great idea, that maybe we could not include a swimming pool since we have a lovely swimming facility across from the high school now. And that would be one way to meet the desire to economize, but also to put in the facility. Thank you.
Kate Cook, 17 Hunking Street. I came up during public comment earlier to ask you to consider the budget and to be very careful with the budget. So when it comes to a sports complex and we're talking about $50 million, that's a lot of taxpayer dollars going out the door when we have other priorities as a city, things like affordable housing, that maybe we should be focusing our funds on issues like affordable housing, issues like safer routes to school on bikes. I know these are concerns that the council also shares. Could you potentially consider an alternative to bonding $50 million and work in a public-private partnership potentially for an indoor hockey rink, which seems to be the main concern that I'm hearing? Thank you.
Hello, John Tobin, 35 Highland Street. As the head of the Recreation Department, I 100% agree with Ms. Wheeler. We do not need another swimming pool. We already have enough. That space and money can instead be used for an indoor soccer field or for more pickleball courts, as Miles said. Thank you.
Hello, this is Ben Gottlieb, 70 TJ Gamester Ave, and I think this sports complex is a great idea because I know me and many others here do track, and especially Counselor Fitzpatrick, me and him like to race a lot, and I think this would be a great opportunity for him to get a bit faster so he can beat me one day on the track. And especially just for everybody else who wants to practice, get faster, especially Counselor Fitzpatrick. Thank you.
I'd wait on a motion to vote on an indoor sports complex with a budget of $50 million.
Assistant Mayor Johnson,
Aye.
Counselor Saddam,
Yes.
Counselor Reese,
No.
Counselor Ciotti,
Yes.
Counselor Shaw,
Yes.
Counselor Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Counselor Cullens,
Yes.
and Mayor Moriarty.
Yes.
The ruling is 7-1 for a indoor recreation place.
City manager's items, which requires action. City Manager Williams. First thing, financial and environmental sustainability.
Thank you, Your Honor. Today, I'd like to bring up the topic of financial and environmental sustainability. As we all know, Portsmouth is a historic complex that has open access to beaches, estuaries, wetlands, and also the Urban Forestry Center. There's a lot of wildlife and nature surrounding Portsmouth, and having grown up here, I think that it's imperative that we protect that wildlife, whether that is through sustainable development, sustainable policies regarding water treatment, and education of the public on these issues. Whether that is through the 2454 Lafayette Condo Project, McIntyre, which we are not going to get into now, or the condos near Hannaford's and the north and west ends of Portsmouth. I think that it's imperative that when we develop Portsmouth to address the housing crisis, we also make sure that the developments we put in are sustainable, environmentally friendly, and most importantly, affordable to the people that wish to live here. With that said, I am asking for a referral to the Sustainability Committee to report back on sea level rise and the Climate Action Plan.
Thank you, City Manager Williams. All in favor, say aye. Do we need a motion?
Assistant Mayor Johnston.
Need a motion. We need a motion.
So moved.
Second?
All right. Roll call. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay. Okay. Consent agenda. Motion for adoption of consent agenda. Move to adopt the consent agenda. There's a letter from Michelle Wheeler requesting permission to hold a 5K road race for the New Hampshire Forest Care System. Is there an action? Okay. May is I'm going to read the letter. May is National Foster Care Month and has been observed since the late 1980s. On
On average, over 900 children are involved with the foster care system in New Hampshire annually. Foster care provides children with safe homes, with a safe home environment when their parents cannot provide them with the care they need. Protective experiences such as nurturing foster care placement can counter the effects of adverse childhood experiences. As a result, I am requesting permission to hold a 5K within city limits to raise money and awareness for New Hampshire foster care system. Thank you for considering. Michelle Wheeler. I need a motion. Motion? Is there a motion? Oh. We're just reading there's another letter from Heather Wheeler requesting city investigate the possible agrivoltaics research in Portsmouth. To the mayor and members of city council. I am a biology teacher at Portsmouth High School. Recently, my students discussed the challenges associated with the world population reaching 8 billion people. They identified food security, access to clean water, and renewable energy production as challenges for which they want to research possible solutions. Through their research, they identified and are experimenting with the effectiveness of agrivoltaics. Agrivoltaics is the use of land for both agriculture and solar photovoltaics energy generation. It's also sometimes referred as agri-solar, dual-use solar, low-impact solar, U.S. Department of Agriculture. In the lab, students designed and executed investigations looking at reduced water requirements for crops grown under solar panel cover, the food output impacts of crops grown under solar panels cover, possible variations in distribution and angle of panels on dual-use land to maximize food output and water conservation, as well as other concerns such as runoff and livestock grazing. They have demonstrated the potential for agrivoltaics as a possible solution to water and food security, as well as clean energy production. On behalf of my students, I would ask you to consider investigating the possibility of agrivoltaics research in Portsmouth. Thank you for considering. Respectfully, Heather Wheeler. A motion to refer the city manager. Is there a motion for the first letter from Michelle Wheeler? Motion to adopt the consent agenda.
Second. So moved.
Second.
Okay, now, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Okay. Now, next thing is presentations and written communications. First will be Evie Tombarelli, presenting regarding upgrading air conditioning at Portsmouth High School.
Hello, Evie Tomarelli, 382 Bartlett Street. I've actually changed my topic, so yeah, Portsmouth is about to turn 400 years old, which means we have a lot of old housing stock. 68.9% of Portsmouth homes or apartments were built before lead paint was banned in 1978. And this is a higher percentage of old housing stock than Rockingham County in New Hampshire or the United States. So 40 Portsmouth children have been lead poisoned between 2017 and 2021, and that number is too great. However, testing rates have declined substantially since COVID. There were less than 70% before COVID and have declined 25% further during and after COVID due to the interruption in medical care and a nationwide recall on testing equipment. The effects of lead paint are elevated lead levels, developmental delays, attention deficit disorders, and other behavioral and learning issues, or even death. Lead is a naturally occurring element and can be found in water and soil, but the vast majority of lead poisoning cases are from lead paint in homes. So children under 6 years old may have not yet developed the blood-brain barrier, so they absorb lead more readily into their brain. So my solution to this is to have people inspecting houses for lead paint and dangers of the lead paint. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Colin Denon, presentation regarding the creation of websites for the skateboard park in Portsmouth.
With the new funds allocated for the construction of the Portsmouth Skate Park, I'd like to ask you to fund a website for the park where we could post pictures and videos, post about events, and people could see the development of the park. We would be able to showcase this new asset for our town, which would attract people to come to our town, not just for our town and the skate park, but to spend their money here too. And it could be a great way to bring attention to the new park in our town.
Thank you. Next, I would like to bring up the consideration to appoint John Hudson to the Recreation Board. We're gonna vote at the next meeting. All right. Now. Now I'm giving the floor to Assistant Mayor Johnston.
I move to create a policy that would make Student Government Day a annual event. If I could get a second to elaborate on that, that'd be great.
So moved.
Second.
Student Government Day really helped everyone to understand more about government, so I feel like it would be a great experience for oncoming generations to learn more about government.
Next is Councilor Saddam.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Oh, 1 second. Before that, we're gonna vote on Assistant Mayor Johnson. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right. Now, on to Councilor Saddam.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would like a motion to refer to the city manager for a report back regarding the creation of parking spots behind the tennis courts at the high school. And if I could get a second, I will elaborate on that.
So moved. Second.
So the main problem right now is that there are very limited parking spots at the high school, and right now only juniors and seniors are allowed to park, and they have to pay money in order to get a parking spot. It's a very long process as well. It's over the summer, and I feel the need to fix the process as well as expand the parking situation. I would like to look at the space behind the tennis courts and see if there is availability to expand there. The benefit of this would be allowing the sophomores to have a spot and not use, say, tour, for example. It also will relieve a lot of the stress of these sophomores and potentially maybe freshmen who have gotten their license and are looking to get a spot, instead of stealing another one from, say, a junior or senior and causing a problem there. And yeah, by working with the city manager and seeing if this is possible, we can allow for an easier and less stressful time for our staff, but as well as our students who can benefit from this. In addition to seeing if the spot is available and potentially expanding on that, I would also like to see if we can do that, how many spots would then be available.
Councilor Saddam, I just have a quick question about this. You talk about the space behind the tennis courts. Are you talking about the woods behind the tennis courts?
No, I'm talking about if you're heading towards the tennis court, you can either go left to enter the area or go to the right. There's more open space there where there's a shed or so. I feel that we could potentially expand that area and allow for more parking.
Okay, thank you.
Motion to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Alrighty then. Next is Councilor Reese.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would like to present a motion to move for a report back from the Land Use Committee on tightening environmental standards for development of housing. If I get a second, I can elaborate on that.
So move.
Second. Thank you. As you know, Portsmouth is home to a large amount of wetlands, and they are endangered areas with a lot of different species there and are very easily destroyed. So, for one, these environmental standards could help protect them and keep them from the hands of developers that would destroy them. Also in Portsmouth, we have a lot of open space running out that are being used to build houses and stuff. So all of this place that used to be used as farmland in Portsmouth is now being just used to build houses, which leads to overpopulation within Portsmouth. Our town used to be small, and if we want to keep that quaint feel, filling it up with all these houses is making it a lot harder to keep that feel and how we want it to be in Portsmouth. Thank you.
Motion to vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right. Next is Councilor Ciotti.
Yeah, thanks, Your Honor. I'd like to move to refer to the city manager for a report back regarding bike routes safer for travel between neighborhoods. If I could get a second, I'd like to expand on that.
So moved.
Second.
So, in our city of Portsmouth, our community is really good here. and we have a lot of bikers and walkers and stuff. And certain neighborhoods in the north and south end have bike paths and bike routes, but they're not connected, so there's no easy way to go from one to the other. So they have to resort to the roads, and that causes traffic and potentially someone getting hurt, which isn't good. So I think we should have paths that connect between the two neighborhoods, and that help with biker safety and cause less traffic for us in our city.
Motion to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Next is Councilor Shaw.
So I would like to motion to refer to the city manager for a report back on establishing a work session with the school board. And if I could get a second.
So moved. Second.
So I would like to recognize the breakout spaces that are located in Portsmouth High School on the second and third floor, and I don't think they're being used as effectively as they could be used. And so I believe by adding new seating such as booths and bean bags and just other seating that could be moved around to make groups, as well as new refreshments such as a vending machine or just like a snack compartment so people on third floor don't have to go all the way to the first floor to get food. By adding these things, I think we can motivate students to just engage and be more awake while doing their work. And I also think by adding outdoor classrooms to Portsmouth High School, it could be a great change of environment for students who are usually confined in their classrooms, and especially on a hot, sunny day. This could also be a good thing for science classrooms that are doing labs outside and would rather be outside during the lab and just work together in a classroom outside. And so by adding these things, it could promote more students to just engage in classroom activities and just be more motivated to do work and participate. Thank you.
Councilor Shaw, with a 3-minute passing time, when would these breakout spaces be used?
No, not during passing time. I just mean during class time, when some teachers usually send out students to the breakout space to do some work, like independent work or group work, because they don't have enough space in the classroom. For example, my English class, we did a trial, and it was 2 different teams, but they couldn't be in the same classroom, so one had to be sent outside, so they didn't hear what the other group was saying. So I think at a breakout space, they can work together if they had good seating and stuff, and just get good ideas.
So for the small amount of time that the breakout spaces are used, you're saying we should spend the taxpayers' money to fund these and put bean bags and vending machines for the, say, 15 minutes out of a day that these are used?
No, they would be used during class time, which is 75 minutes.
But most classes don't send their kids out there.
Well, it's because there's nowhere to sit and everything. I think so by adding new seats and stuff, classrooms would be more motivated to go outside into the breakout space.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Yes.
All right.
I make a motion to move to refer to the city manager for a report back on traffic and environmental impacts on a bike share in the downtown area. If I could get a second, I'd elaborate.
I'll move.
Second.
So down in the downtown area, there's a lot of traffic, and this creates a negative effect on the environment. With a bike share path, and to piggyback on Councilor Ciotti, with more bike paths and such as New York has implemented, and we sort of have a bike share element could limit the car traffic, making more room for
people that don't necessarily live in downtown areas to travel. And especially with the new rail trail project, this would very much help the city and provide like a new service for people to do, especially tourists.
Before we vote on Fitzpatrick's, we need to vote on Councilor Shaw's. So take it away, Maggie.
Assistant Mayor Johnston,
Aye.
Councilor Sedam,
Yes.
Councilor Reese,
No.
Councilor Ciotti,
Yes.
Councilor Shaw,
Yes.
Councilor Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
The ruling for more space. Oh, sorry. Mayor. So sorry about that.
Yeah, just,
Mayor Moriarty.
Yes.
Yes. Great. And Councilman Collins.
Yeah.
All right. The ruling is 7-1 for the breakout space.
All right. Councilor Fitzpatrick, do like a quick review again over your things so we can better vote.
For the bike shares, it would improve the environmental impact of Portsmouth by having less car traffic in favor of bike routes, and it also helps with the new rail trail and tourism.
Councilor Fitzpatrick, just a point of clarification. I'm all for the environmental impacts positively of implementing more bike traffic and foot traffic in Portsmouth, but I was just wondering how you were planning to make up for the revenue lost in parking. Would this be through raising taxes, or just how do you plan to make up the lost revenue?
The lost revenue, like for the bike share process, if you didn't know, in New York, you can pay to access these bikes, which would, this can either be, so for the city to get this, it can either be a contractual, like with a private company, or paid by the city. To get the revenue back, you'd pay to use the bikes and then return them at the end. So it would make up for the lost revenue from parking in the parking garages, while also freeing up spaces for people that don't live downtown.
All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
So you have to say, yes, I am opposed.
Yes, I am opposed.
All right. Roll call vote, Maggie.
Assistant Mayor Johnston,
I'm opposed.
Councilor Sedam,
Yes.
Councilor Reese,
Yes.
Councilor Ciotti,
Yes.
Councilor Shaw,
Yes.
Councilor Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Councilor Collins,
Yeah.
Mayor Moriarty.
Yes.
The ruling is 7-1 for that.
All right. Councilor Collins, take it away.
Yeah. I'd like to update you all on the replacement of the turf field that is happening at the Portsmouth High School. We have allocated $1.6 million for the project, and the school board has listened to our advice and decided to go with the crumb rubber infill. They have also decided on using a shock pad underneath the turf, which we believe is going to make the field safer and reduce injuries for our athletes. We are hopeful that there's enough funds to add a Clipper logo in the center of the field. Work is scheduled to begin this summer, and it is anticipated that the turf will be completed before the fall sports season this upcoming fall season. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We're gonna move on to approval of grants/donations. No. So, the acceptance of the donation to the police department for the honor guard of $500. Sample motion. To approve and do we have a motion? All in favor?
Is there a motion?
motion?
Oh.
Motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Next is the acceptance of the FY24 Community Development Block Grant Funds of $529,546. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Sweet. We're at the miscellaneous. Would anyone like to move anything forward? Councilor Shaw?
So I would like everyone to get ready to squeal with delight and cuteness. Overload. This weekend, Strawberry Bank is hosting a baby farm animal extravaganza. Come see their adorable little critters as they frolic and play in the sunshine. Watch the piglets wiggle their curly tails, and the lambs hop around like they just don't care. Don't miss your chance. That's all.
Say cheese.
I did that.
Oh, we're saying cheese.
Cheese.
What?
Cheese.
I already did FY24. The police department. I did that. Any more miscellaneous? No? Alright. Motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Alright.
Double it.